proud of the guys. Came out with some tremendous energy and sustained it. I thought the second half was probably even better, just staying the course. You know, the one thing we talked about even before the game was the opportunity that was in front of us with the first three, San Diego State, Nevada, and Boise. But obviously you got to play one game at a time. And grateful that the first one was at home. And you know, the season started over. Everybody's 0-0, and now we're 1-0. But still humble in the sense of it's one win, but we got to continue to build and work on it.
Coach, I know you talked before this game. You kind of like to see your team get back to playing your brand of basketball. And I know HD went off for 36, but did you like the way that brand of basketball, as far as ball movement and sharing, and granted, you'll take 36 from H probably every night, but did you feel like you guys got back more to that tonight?
Well, again, it's kind of like what we talked about when we first got back from on Christmas Eve. You know, the one thing you realized within the 4-game stint that we had here was we wasn't playing Cowboy basketball, and we kind of squeaked some out. And, you know, like I told our guys, sometimes a loss could be a blessing in disguise. And the loss in Northern Colorado really made us, gave us an opportunity to really look back on the four games and how could we get back to playing, you know, our brand of basketball. So again, you know, what we did was just get back to that practice floor and did a lot of more competitive stuff within practice. And I thought the guys came out with a really good edge. And again, you know, San Diego State is one of the better teams in this league traditionally. So that was a little extra motivation within itself, but excited that our guys came out. Actually, I was more even excited with the crowd, with the energy that it produced, and kept our guys really in tune to it.
You guys obviously hit a lot of shots the second half, but it seemed like the defense, you know, also stepped up, you know, getting a lot of stops in a row. What changed on that end of the floor out of halftime did you see?
Well, again, it goes back to the practice. That's what we just been emphasis on. You know, one of the things, one of the key points in this game was taking it personal, keeping your guy in front. Because a lot of our, you know, defensive breakdown within defending the three-point line came from guys getting by the primary defender and forcing help. Even though they shot a pretty good percentage here from three, but I thought we did a much better job staying in front. And forcing guys taking tough twos. And like I told them after the game, when you have Malik Pope taking 22 shots to get 21 points, that's a good deal at the end of the day. And then the other guy I told him about was Trick Hill, who I really respect as a basketball player. Watched him obviously over the years and know how important he is to this program. To be able to say he took, I think, 9 shots and ended up with 7 points, again goes back to a lot better focus on that end of the floor.
You've seen HD go off, but what was it? There was a stretch in the second half where he seemed to almost take over. What did you see from him that kind of allowed you guys to open things up in that second half?
Well, H is a very confident guy, man. You know, he'll let you know it too. You know, but you know, it's in him. You know, and that's the beauty. Within our team, you know, we've had a few guys within this year or even over a career that has been able to put up those type of numbers. So, you know, even going forward, you know, yeah, you gotta guard HD, but at the same time, I'm saying Justin James didn't play well tonight for us, but we still have to keep him out there on the floor because of the respect level for what he's capable of doing. But I commend H. Not, to be honest with you, not for what he did on the offensive end of the floor, because like I always tell him, I know you can do that. I was really impressed with how he gave it to us on the defensive end of the floor. Really impressed.
Coach, you know, Hunter the start, and obviously he started games. That's not new, but hadn't started in a while. And you know, Eddie Reed just liked how he'd been practicing. I know Alex had been kind of struggling shooting the ball. We talked about that, and thought Hunter gave you some good minutes tonight too.
Well, a lot of what Hunter does don't show up on a stat sheet, but he's very effective. And yeah, Alex has been going through a little bit. I sat Alex down, we talked about it. But I thought he played well tonight coming off the bench. But what I think that Hunter brings to the table for us is just, I think he's another energetic guy. When you look at the ability of a JJ, Al, HD, Cody, I think he just fits perfectly with that group, you know. And I think Alex is always, regardless if he's making or missing shots, again, guys respect him enough to know that if he's open, he's going to shoot the basketball. But I mean, I think Hunter's going to be really, well, I don't want to say really, I think he's a really good player. And to be able to do some of the things that he's doing as a freshman, kudos, because I think he's a great kid. He listens and he applies. You know, you don't have to really tell him twice, and I think that helps what we're trying to do.
I think the last time HD had 30 was Chattanooga when JJ had that ankle thing going on, and JJ, like you mentioned, struggled a little bit tonight. Do you feel like Hayden takes it on even more a little bit when he, you know, maybe Justin's not having the big night to put even more up points-wise?
I mean, you got to fill it out with H. You know, I think H goes into every game thinking I'm gonna get 30. You know, I don't think he goes in thinking I'm gonna get 5. You know, that's just not his makeup. But I thought he was really amped up. You know, for conference play. To be honest with you, and like I said, no matter at the end of the day, it is San Diego State, and I thought this was a renewed opportunity on the season. And I you know, sometimes when you get those first 2 to go in, you know, that goal gets bigger and bigger. But H is a very, very confident player, So, and to be honest with you, after these 4 games, the one thing I was saying, somebody has to, like, at some point, one of these guys got to have a go-off game, you know, to kind of get us back going. And it happened to be HD tonight. So. And the beauty about it is when you get that guy going, you try to get him as many attempts as you can within the offense. And I thought our guys recognized that and got him the basketball, and we started calling sets for him.
So can you kind of live with the technical when he's feeling it like that?
We'll probably talk about that later. Because I mean, and I thought the ref did a great job because he had mentioned it to me, and I mentioned it to H, but. You know, I think that's the beauty for me being a former player, that, you know, it does get competitive. And at the end of the day, I get it, but you don't want it to come back and bite you more so than anything.
You know, you mentioned you got back after Christmas and got a lot more competitive in practice. Now you got another week until your next game, and imagine you're going to keep that up during. You know, obviously there'll be an off day somewhere, but
yeah.
keep that momentum going, even in practice going into Nevada next week.
Definitely. I thought even walking into the locker room after the game, the first thing the guy said was, "Thank God for 2 days," something like that. So bought in. Now it's probably more so, again, going back to management of it. You know, you still don't want to get to the point where you're going twice and you're wearing your own self down. But you still want to be able to get out there, and even if it's in a short period of time, just make the practices more competitive.